That one is gone! Game-winning home run for Ryan Howard! Here in the bottom of the 11th inning, the Phillies get a chance to celebrate. Ryan Howard wins it 4-3. And they are waiting for him at home plate. Four straight victories in 7 of the last 8 games for the Phils. Well, that means there's a little bit of a buzz around Citizens Bank Park. Our Weekends with Schmidt, presented by Acme Markets, continues tonight. It's game 2 of a 3-game series between the Phils and the Indians. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Mike Schmidt, the all-time franchise leader in walk-off home runs, and Matt Stairs, as we get set to see if the Phillies can capitalize on last night's victory, Ryan Howard's game-winning home run. Matt, it was a pretty impressive swing, but you think there may have been a little foreshadowing to that home run early on in the game.
Well, I do, and Ryan's been swinging the bat pretty good lately. The numbers aren't showing, but last night he gets in a situation, it's a 2-0 pitch. He gets a fastball where I think was a very good pitch to hit. And I talked to him earlier today. He said he should have crushed it. But the problem is his bat came in the zone, and when out of the zone too quick, it's a weak ground ball, foul. Now all of a sudden the next pitch, you really concentrate on hitting the ball to left center, up the middle. The bat stays to the zone a little longer. 5th pitch, fastball inside, a very good pitch. Alligator arms it, keeps the barrel through the zone, and drives the ball up the middle, which sets him up for his second at bat. Fastball away, beautiful swing. We've seen that 100 times over and over and over. First double of the year. Now all of a sudden he comes up to his 5th at bat in the 11th inning. Fastball inside, and what's he do? He just reacts. So that's the walk-off right there, and it's a matter of making adjustments, and that's the biggest thing is you have to make adjustments from a bat to a bat, pitch to pitch. The 3rd pitch, he was in another zone. All of a sudden now his barrel went through the zone a little longer, and that's the reason why he had a very nice night.
Well, last night was one of the better nights for Ryan Howard offensively in quite some time. And Mike, at this point in his career, what kind of a presence is Ryan Howard?
Well, first, good to be back with you guys. Heck of an analysis, partner, I swear. And I'm looking forward to talking about your discussion with Ryan. And you said you talked to him tonight. Quite simple. I'd say to our fans out there, close your eyes and picture the Phillies lineup without Ryan Howard in it. He is a presence. I don't care what you say. He may not be the presence he once was, but the opposing manager, the opposing pitcher, their bullpen, their defense, all have to think about Ryan Howard 3 or 4 times a game and what he can do, the damage he can do. And that's so important to a lineup to have a stud in the cleanup hitter, in the cleanup position in the batting order that affects the opposition and their thinking and their approach to every inning, especially at the end of the ball game. We also saw what Ryan Howard can do on a given night when he's hot. Let's hope he can get hot and carry what he did last night into the next week or so.
Well, that is the key, is if he can do what he did last night a little more consistently, well, this lineup looks a whole lot better moving forward. Tonight it'll be Jared Eichhoff, Trevor Bauer on the hill for the Indians. Lineups and first pitch from Philadelphia when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. By Toyota. Toyota's hybrid fleet is nothing short of a home run. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. By Citizens Bank. The next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. Citizens Bank Park, our weekends with Schmidt, presented by Acme Markets as the Phillies taking on the Cleveland Indians. That's Jared Eichhoff already warming up and ready to go out on the mound. Let's take a look at the Indians starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Kipnis leads it off at second base, then Francisco Lindor. Michael Brantley is in left field hitting third. Carlos Santana catches tonight. Juan Uribe's over at third base batting fifth. Tyler Naquin is in center field batting sixth. The bottom third of Perez, Chisenhall, and Bauer, and they will face Jared Eichhoff 1-3 with an ERA of 4.07. Coming off an outing in which he went 5 1/3 his last time out.
It's a little bit of a tough lineup for Jared here tonight. They go left switch, where you get to a right-hander.
Yeah, Terry Francona's mixed it up a little bit, and the first pitch is in there. We're underway. Here's the scatter report on Jared.
Yeah, he's a 4-pitch pitcher, averages 90.6. I like to see that 15.7 pitches per inning. He has a very good numbers this year with his slider, which I'll talk more about in my key.
Slider, huh?
Yes.
All right, mix it up.
It's an important pitch for him.
Kipnis last night was 1 for 4. He had a 2-run home run that extended his hitting streak to 8 consecutive games. Over to the right side, Cesar Hernandez is up with it, and one away.
Got away with a little bit of a shaky 0-2 pitch right there. Looked like fastball right. I had a little sink to it. Might have been a changeup actually, but got a lot of the plate.
Well, in his last outing, his curveball is his best pitch, out pitch. But his last outing, he probably threw too many curveballs. So it was nice to see him throw something other than that with 2 strikes.
Well, it's nice to see because you cannot fall in love. In his last outing, he threw almost 65% curveballs with 2 strikes. You need to mix it up.
Lindor takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, you know it's easier to hit when you only have to concern yourself with 2 pitches rather than 3 or 4.
Exactly.
Lindor last night was 1 for 5. He had a single in his first at bat. Yeah, there you see the pitches so far this year. Mostly fastballs, but the curveball is creeping up. But just 6% sliders. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Indians are concerned about the curveball from Jared Eichhoff.
As they should be. When it's on, it's very good.
They say it's an old school curveball.
I guarantee it was mentioned in the clubhouse for the game.
Another one to Cesar, who's up with it. It's a 93-mile-an-hour fastball there. 2 outs. All right, Matt, here they go. The keys to the game brought to you by Nissan.
Well, first key, and I'll go first, Mike, if you don't mind. Eichhoff, show the slider once in a while. You just said it. You don't want to become a 2-pitch pitcher. You need to mix in the slider. You need to mix in the changeup. That makes the fastball and the curveball even better.
Well, mine's Freddie Galvis. Love to see Freddie a little more consistency at the plate. You know, he had a couple of tough at-bats with last night, last couple games. No question he's gotten some big hits helping us to win games over the last week to 10 days. But he'd be the first to admit the 2-strike hitting consistency has not been there. And Freddie had a heck of a year last year, and I'd like to see him build on that.
Well, he is better defensively, but which is what one of his goals were. But you're right about the offense, Mike. Brantley takes low, 2 balls and no strikes.
And Freddie, Pete likes Freddie a lot in that lineup. You notice he's got him in that leadoff spot, the 2 spot. A lot of managers would take him right and stick him right in the 8 hole, or 9 hole
right.
as the case is now. But he stays with him.
Out toward left field, Darren Ruff gets his first chance, and he makes the catch. So a nice inning for Jared Eichhoff. He throws just 9 pitches to get through the top of the first, on to the bottom of the first. The Phillies coming up. Into his seats here at Citizens Bank Park. The Wild thing won't be used until later on in the ball game. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup. Up until then, it's brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Leading it off in center field, Odubel Herrera, Freddie Galvis bats second. Then Maikel Franco and Ryan Howard. Cameron Rupp, the catcher, will hit fifth. Darren Rupp sixth. The bottom third of Hernandez, Eichhoff batting eighth, and Peter Bourjos hitting ninth. And they will face Trevor Bauer. You want to talk about guys who are 2-pitch pitchers and 3-pitch pitchers? This guy's got 8 pitches.
It's unbelievable.
I don't know what he decides to throw at which one and at what points.
Well, whatever he throws, I hope he's not on his game, because he does throw 5 pitches.
Well, how does the catcher get this?
I don't know. He's going to run out of fingers.
Well, he's got a very good fastball, 92-95, but he uses a fastball, slider, split, curve, change, up pitch, down pitch, in and out. He does it all.
You can tell he's a little weird by the way he wears his socks.
First pitch to Odubel Herrera, and he greets it with a single to center field. Odubel's aboard. That's an 11-game hitting streak.
Now that's what I call a leadoff hitter.
Okay, now we're going to have this conversation all night.
Matty thinks Odubel will be better used somewhere where he can drive in runs. His doubles would mean more.
Because this is the type of hitter he is. He's an aggressive hitter who has gap power. I mean, that is just a pretty swing right there.
That is a beautiful swing.
That ball came off hot.
See that downward plane on that swing? That's what we talk about when we talk about that.
Well, that base hit has raised his average to 312. So for everybody that thinks he could be a 300 hitter, he's a month into the season, he's hitting 312. So now Galvis is up with Herrera at first. Freddie pulls the first pitch foul. All right, Mike, he's one of your keys to the game.
Yeah.
What do you think he needs to do differently than what you've seen so far?
I surely like a couple of big hits he's gotten for us. So what he needs to keep doing is keep believing in himself. What he needs to do differently, same thing as always. He gets a little panicky with 2 strikes. He tends to swing at motion a lot. He's a switch hitter, and you know, golly, how about this?
That's in the air to right field. Going back out of his chest and home. It is gone! A 2-run home run out of the chute. And Freddie Galvis has given the Phils a 2-0 lead. It's his 3rd home run of the year. Clarence Hughes of Vineland, New Jersey. Get up off your chair. You've just won $100 thanks to the McDonald's home run jackpot. Well, maybe he doesn't do anything else.
Abajo, that means down in Spanish. Wow, nice hack. Let's look at this one. Ooh, that ball actually ran away from him pretty good, and he only had one hand on the bat, and he got the meat on it for sure. Look at this.
But the problem is that ball ran to the barrel.
Well, it's good planning on his part.
Anyway, what does he need to do different? What was the question?
He needs to slow down his home run trot is what he needs to do. So 2-0 Phillies here in the bottom of the first. Maikel Franco's the hitter. And Franco hits it the opposite way. Flagged down awkwardly by Santana, but flagged down nonetheless. 3-1 on the putout, 1 away.
That was a nice play right there. That was a short hot ball, was almost by him when he caught it. But back to Freddie. Yeah, I mean, before he hit that home run, we were talking about him being a little over anxious with 2 strikes. Being a switch hitter, I mean, it's not like they're bending breaking balls around his neck or anything, and it's, you know, a little scary up there from time to time. He's facing a lefty and a righty, and you got to be able to wait for the ball and have more confidence in a nice little short stroke. And as he grows more mature in the game, that should happen. That's all. Simple answer.
Well, you got us a home run out of it, so it's all right. Here's Howard, and Howard pulls the first pitch foul, and it's 0-1.
The boys are coming out hacking. Wow.
Well, they have faced Bauer before, and he walked 6 the last time he faced them. Here's Ryan Howard last night, his walk-off homer.
Thing of beauty, seeing a walk-off home run. I don't care if it's the 9th, 10th, or 11th.
Up and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
The at-bat you showed in the opening. That was a great story. How you explained his adjustments he made in the game last night. But you'll notice on those pitches to Ryan, as the pitches came down lower in the hitting zone, he was more effective. Fouling off the higher one, the ball came down a little bit better. Strike. The ball got a little lower, line drive to center, and then ball got her down around the knees and the shins. Game-winning home run.
Well, there's a breaking ball. They'll neutralize anybody there. They have 2 outs here in the first.
Well, one thing about Bauer, he has a very good curveball, and he's not afraid to use it. He'll throw it a lot. In 2015, he only threw it 11%. This year, he's up to 14, almost 15%. Lake's hitting $111 versus his curveball, and that's an old school curveball. It's 12-6.
Oh yeah. Cameron Rupp is the batter. Rupp hitting .280 with a home run and 4 runs batted in. He did not play last night. Carlos Ruiz did. Carlos had a pretty good night. Well, they are coming out swinging early, aren't they? He's thrown 10 pitches. He's already given up 2 runs, 2 hits, and he's got 2 outs.
But he's also thrown 9 strikes, so you know he's going to pound the strike zone.
.95 on that fastball, and it's 0-2. 10 strikes, 1 ball with his first 11 of the day.
Down 2-0.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Jason Worth had a 3-run home run today, and Washington has won 2 straight over the Cardinals. Joe Ross, who missed his last start because of blister, gets the win. He's 3-0. Phillies had beaten the Nationals 3 straight to wind down their homestand. Meanwhile, this road trip for Terry Francona has included 3 walk-off losses. Well, that was a nice hop from Kipnis to the glove side, and the side is retired. But the Phillies take the lead after a leadoff single by Odubel Herrera on the first pitch. A couple of pitches later, Freddie Galvis pulls one into the seats in right field. That's home run number 3, and the Phils are up 2-0 as we go to the second. Appreciation Day, so make sure you stop by Harry the Cage. You can watch a little baseball, get some good food. Game time tomorrow is 2:35, so it's a special game time because of the Broad Street Run. A Phillies Infinity scarf free to all women 15 and older. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Well, the combo of the leadoff hitter and the number 2 hitter has given the Phils a 2-0 lead. Odubel Herrera's single followed by Freddie Galvis's home run. And now we go to the second where Carlos Santana will lead it off. Swing and a miss at the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Well, he's come out throwing fastballs here tonight.
With movement.
Well, that ball sank and ran away from Santana. But everybody's got the safety off tonight.
Yeah, they do. Nice hop for Ryan Howard. Eickhoff there in plenty of time. One away. In the background, you heard the bellowing of Cameron Rupp saying over.
Yeah, get over.
For Jared Eichhoff, just in case he forgot. Cam is basking in the glory of the Dallas Stars victory last night. Take a listen. He was walking around the clubhouse yesterday with a Dallas Stars t-shirt on. They were playing his buddy Cody Ashley's Blues last night, and the Stars won Game 1. Something that's not lost on Cam, and I exchanged text messages with Cody today, and it's not lost on Cody either.
No, it's not.
As Uribe takes outside, it's 2-0. Uribe, he walked a couple times in last night's game. 3 balls and no strikes. How about this guy has played in 1,769 games during his big league career, Uribe. He's been a pretty good player for the White Sox, the Dodgers,
on some very successful teams. A lot of postseason at bats. Probably more than I do.
Does have a lot of postseason at bats.
I absolutely love his swing.
Bail and Whale.
It's just hard. It's old school.
Bail and Whale. Yeah.
It's that sharply to Franco. 2 outs. Today's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box.
We got a minute to talk about Maikel Franco's defense. I tell you what, I marvel at how good he is defensively. I don't think enough's been said about it. I mean, think about any diving plays he's made in the first month of the season.
How about
many great plays? The throw from sitting on his rear end.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as good a throw as you can make. People have tried to throw a ball from third base to first sitting on their butt. That's all. I tell you, something on it.
Freddie Galvis told him it was stronger than his throws from his feet. Ball is fouled away by Naquin, and it's 0-1.
He's a great. He can charge a ball in barehanded as good as anybody I've ever seen. You know, you had to pass the test of time, of course, to get the credit sometimes that you deserve in this game. But I'm going to tell you, this kid is going to be a Gold Glove winner.
He's not the fastest guy, but his footwork is quick.
He's relaxed, confident. You know, I don't think that's the one reason I think he's so good is he's just totally relaxed. There's no, you know, no tenseness in his muscles, in his hands. He's got great hands. Unorthodox throwing motion, but man, that thing gets there.
Down the left field line, that'll slice out of play, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eichhoff, 25 years old, out of Evansville, Indiana. I think a young kid just threw a ball back onto the crowd after it was presented to him.
Problem is, it's supposed to be after a home run, not a foul ball.
I don't know if he. Well, I didn't see who it was that threw it. I'm just assuming that it was a youngster.
Maybe he didn't want the Cleveland foul ball.
Yeah, maybe. There's a curve inside, 3-2. Actually, the more I think about it, that ball went pretty far. I don't know if it was a little kid who threw it. Back toward the middle. Hernandez can't get to it. That's a base hit for Naquin. He was 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter last night. So the first hit of the day for the Indians.
Valiant try by Hernandez. He just wants to show off her arm.
You know, there's
they got look. She's getting a text already about it.
I think there are spots around the ballpark that they can throw and test their arm speed. Quick toss over. Naquin, who hasn't stolen a base this year, he's 0 for 1, is back easily. Eichhoff has not recorded a strikeout yet, but last night the Phillies pitchers struck out the Indians 18 times. They have 240 strikeouts overall, which is tops in Major League Baseball. Up and in, 1-0.
And they have the record now, right? No matter what happens tonight.
They would have to go through tonight's game. It would have to be a long game, and
well, they wouldn't be if they didn't strike anyone out and Boston struck out 13.
Right.
Yeah.
They're averaging 10.42 strikeouts per 9 innings, which has a chance, barring anything crazy, to be the record in Major League Baseball for strikeouts for the month of April. Speaking of strikeouts, our Coors Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Coors Light, crisp Coors Light. Oh, there we go. 10.42 strikeouts per 9 innings in the month of April. And that would be the record. The 2-0 pitch. That one is popped softly down the right field line. Hernandez on the run. Whoa, what a play! Cesar Hernandez sprinted to a spot and makes an unbelievable catch to wrap up the top of the second inning. He was the only one that had any chance at all to get this.
I'm not sure where that ball was. Yeah, that ball was fair. It was going to be fair. Great play. It didn't even leave his feet.
Draft recap with expert analysis and reports direct from Chicago and the NovaCare Complex on Sportsnet Central tonight at 10 and midnight only on Comcast Sportsnet. Cesar Hernandez just made one of the better plays you're going to see this weekend. I don't care where you're watching. That's not an easy play for a second baseman.
Absolutely, especially when you're playing slight pull up the middle.
Right, double play. Well, not double play, but a little bit pull up the middle. You're right.
That ball is smoked out toward left center field. It's going to go to the wall. Naquin plays it well, and Ruff will pull into second with a leadoff double, his second double of the year.
Well, a lot of good signs for this game that they are swinging at that first ball. Somebody might want to warn Indians pitcher that the team is aggressive on the first pitch tonight. Great swing right there, short, compact. Matt talked to Cameron before the game. I said, well, give me something for TV, you know, so I can do one of those. Hey, I talked to, or excuse me, Darren. I talked to Darren before the game. Give me something. Give me something. Well, I'm just trying to hit the ball.
Well, he hit it. Cesar takes inside. It's 1-0. Pete said again today, he goes, I have to get him at bats. I have to get him into the game.
I think that's most of us would have experienced the opposite, right? When a guy's cold, not hitting well, he has a tough time getting in the lineup. But Pete, that, you got to commend him for that. You know, get him in the game so he can get it back. We got to do your job at bat here.
But you need to get him in the game, but you need to give him about 4 or 5 games in a row.
It's
not one start and then 4 off.
I agree with you 100%. 100%.
Inside 2-1. Pete did admit to that today. He said, I have to somehow, because he said, I'm going to run into a time where I'm going to have 3 or 4 lefties in a row. Yeah. So he's going to wind up playing, so I need to get him ready for those moments.
Well, that's what Darren can give you. I mean, other than Ryan and McHale, he's basically our only other long ball threat. And that's what he can give you. You can get him in there and get him hot and get him feeling good. You know, ultimately he's that guy that can hit behind Ryan Howard, right? And maybe give you 20 home runs a year, 25 home runs a year. We've talked about that a lot here on the broadcast.
He fights it off and fouls it down the left field line.
You know, and I'm not a firm believer anyway that Darren should face lefties only, and I'm not a fan of Ryan Howard facing right-handers only. You get into some bad habits, you need to face that slider. You need to face that left-hander who's throwing that nasty curveball for Ryan to say, okay, I'm going to stand a little longer and not pull off this baseball. It helps you in the long run.
There's a line drive to center field.
I got
Darren Ruff does tag off on his way to third, and Naquin's throw is cut off. They're hitting some balls hard here tonight against Bauer.
Yes, they are, and it was a nice at bat. It wasn't cosmetically beautiful. It was a great line drive and a good swing, but you know, we need to hit the ball to the right side, but it was deep enough and hard enough to advance the runner, and that's what matters.
Well, the New York Mets continued their red-hot play. They defeated the Giants today 6-5. Matt Cain falls to 0-3. Jacob deGrom improves to 3-0. So the standings look like this. Washington, its lead is at a half game over the Mets and 3 games over the Phillies. Michael Conforto, a solo home run and a 2-run double. Jared Eichhoff has taken the scouting report. And is utilizing it here, swinging at the first pitch. By the way, that's 8 straight for the Mets.
I tell you, this is an at bat where you might think about squeeze, but he's already swung at the first pitch, has put him in the hole.
Oh. And a line drive base hit into center field. An RBI hit for Jared Eichhoff, his second ribby of the year. It scores Darren Ruff. It's 3-0 Phillies. Man's been working on his hitting, Mike.
That's right, and how important that advancing the third was. It brings the infield in. The batter knows even if he is a pitcher, all he's got to do is make contact, and most likely he'll get a run. Pretty good swing. Matty went down there to get that ball.
And it wasn't an easy pitch either. It was down in the zone. Look at that concentration, head down.
I'll tell you what, in our ballpark, though, that's a tough ball to score on from second base.
Here's Peter Borges, and he takes on the outside corner. Borges making his 20th start. He had a double in last night's game. He smoked one off the glove of the third baseman.
Boy, you're right about Bauer. He just keeps firing them in there.
It's amazing. He's given up some rockets. He's not giving in. He has a game plan. He's going to be aggressive in the strike zone with the fastball. The thing is, he only throws 51% of the time heaters.
Breaking ball, and that'll be the second out. I don't know if he fouled it for a second there. The way everybody reacted.
Pete's probably discouraged right now. That was not a very good 0-2 pitch. Actually, he would say that's a hanging curveball that I should put in play.
Well, that's the second strikeout for Bauer, and here's Odubel Herrera. Odubel, who came into the ball game averaging 4.7 pitches per plate appearance, swung at the first pitch his first time up and got a base hit. Eichhoff not really being held on. Santana backpedals behind him. Outside corner. Ooh.
Ball might have been a little high come around the plate.
Maybe.
See, with Santana at first base and the way he's holding Eichhoff on, I think it's a waste of time.
I agree.
Because you sit in there and, he's tapping his glove to keep you close. Now all of a sudden you start backing up in your position. You never get set. You're always moving.
Out to left field. And Brantley will wait for it. And the side is retired. Phils do get a run on the RBI single by Jared Eichhoff. He's got a 3-0 lead as we go to the third.
Last night, Adam Morgan took the baseball for the Phillies, making his season debut. And what can you say? He just fit right in line with what the Phillies pitchers have been doing all season long. He went 5 innings, allowed 3 runs, but 7 strikeouts, maybe more importantly, just the 1 walk. I had a chance to talk to Adam today about that start, and I said, when you got out there, obviously you've been here in the big leagues before. I said, were there any nerves when you stepped out there last night making your season debut? And he said, you know what? It was a real sense of calm for me. He said, because I know this is the place I'm supposed to be. He's a very confident kid. We know that, and he is a guy that just continues to battle. I said, when you went down at the end of spring training, when you got the news that you weren't going to break camp and come to Philadelphia immediately, what did you do? He said, well, I allowed myself the rest of that day to be very angry. He said, because I was not happy that I was not coming to Philadelphia. He said, but as soon as that day was over, I let it go. And he said, I got back to work knowing that I would get my opportunity. And when I was going to get that opportunity, I wanted to make sure that I made the most of it so that I didn't have that feeling again. Well, last night, I think he can say he did a very good job, a solid job. He's certainly going to get another chance here in the big leagues in 5 days to show them again what he can do. But a nice job all around for Adam Morgan yesterday.
Yeah, Pete just said he threw too many pitches. That's why he was lifted when he was, to try to get those outs. He was happy that he got better as it went on. That ball is lined down the left field line. It's a fair ball going to the corner for Lonnie Chisenhall. And he's going to get a leadoff double here in the third.
Wow. Well, any scouting report we had on Lonnie, you can throw it out the window because he just Darren Ruff's playing way over in left center. Now he hits the line drive down the left field line.
Everybody looks like they know what's coming tonight.
It does seem that way. That's his first double of the year. Now Bauer, who has 1 career sacrifice, is 1 for 13 as a hitter in his career. He squares. Murph was talking about Morgan. The thing about Adam Morgan last night, he's different than what the Phillies have in a lot of ways. As far as his off-speed pitches go, the ball is bunted foul by Bauer.
It's a line drive.
Well, we don't have a left-handed starter either, right?
Correct. So he's different than what they have. And Pete, Pete was asked about his fastball. He topped at 92, which is a little higher than what he was last year. Pete talked about what we discussed last night, that his arm strength is getting better after the shoulder surgery a couple years ago. No balls and 1 strike to Bauer. Corners pinch in. And a breaking ball bunted up the third base line.
Well, you're taking a chance right there. If you throw to third, you don't get him. You got a 3-run lead. Even if that run does score, you still have a 2-run lead. I guess the right decision was made there. Take the out at first base.
I agree, and I think you would have saw a different decision if it was first or second, and if it was a forced play at third play.
Might have been a double play if that
Very
happened.
good point. You got to catch the ball, make the tag, make a good throw. He drops it. You know, you got 2 men on. You got the tying run at the plate again. So, no, that's the right decision.
So a runner at third with 1 man down, and Kipnis is up. The infield will play back. Kipnis grounded out his first time up. Kipnis takes a curveball, and it's 0-1.
There's that curveball.
There it is. Fastball in.
You know what? As a hitter, I actually would rather have faced fastball curveball than I would fastball slider. And I'm talking about like a nasty slider. I thought the ball that humped up and dropped in over the plate was easier to contact than a nasty slider. As
Darren Ruff makes an unbelievable catch. A run will score. It'll be a sacrifice fly, but it could have been a whole lot more. It's a 3-1 ball game.
And they're asking for an appeal at third base. Why? I don't know that guy would ever leave early on this particular ball. Right? I mean, he could have crawled into home.
Could have.
Went a long way for that ball.
Yeah, he did. He did it. And it's all about the first jump, and he had a great angle.
Watch his eyes. Look at his eyes. Watch the ball in his glove.
Great play right there.
Are they going to appeal?
They did.
They did.
And they called him safe. Like you said, he could have walked home from third. So a 3-1 ball game, and the batter is Francisco Lindor. He takes a strike. We timed it up perfectly. Oh yeah, he waited an extra second or so. Good curve, 0-2.
It's amazing how that ball will find you in the outfield when you haven't played up there for a while.
It's also amazing when you got a knock and you've done some good things in the game, how you make a good play defensively. He's off and running in this game right now.
Let's put a big sign up saying, "Play me more."
Well, you keep on making plays in left field and keep on hitting doubles, your name will be in that lineup on a regular basis.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Lindor. And it's 2-2. He threw 3 straight curveballs. He'll get the out on the chopper out to second. 4-3 on the putout. 1 run on the sac fly. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Freddie Galvis will lead it off. Major League coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE since 2015. Buy your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And buy WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Well, that's something I should have wore today. The sun was out. Watched those two guys play baseball today and didn't put enough sunscreen on, and man, did I get fried.
So did they.
Yeah. Well, they were out in the open.
Open. I explained to you how important sunscreen is.
I know. I did put it on at the beginning.
How about the boys? Do they wear sunscreen all the time?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm not with them all the time. They're in college now.
Do I have to have a word with them?
You might have to. By the looks of their cheeks, you might have to. 1 ball and 1 strike to Galvis. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
All right, make the adjustment, Freddie. Short, quick, and down.
Freddie homered his last time up. He had been 3 for his last 21 before that home run. And a little out front of that breaking ball. Strikeout number 3 for Bauer. Time now for the Jeep Stuff the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. Who is the Indians' all-time home run leader? The Indians' all-time home run leader. Michael Franco hits one foul back into the Hall of Fame club. And it's 0-1.
That was close. We're jotting down a few possibilities here.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Would this guy ever have been on the old home run derby show?
Boy, I could really lead you astray right here. Would he have been? He would have been if he was alive at that time.
That eliminates this dude.
Yeah. 2 balls and 1 strike. Down the right field line, and that is out of play. 2-2.
Might we see this guy later on in the year?
Might see him later on this year. Mike might be standing pretty close to him.
In a different uniform?
Yeah.
Did he wear his socks kind of high like that pitcher there?
Yes, he did.
And when I tell you the answer, when we tell you the answer.
No, it's you. You got it.
Well, I'm hoping it's the right guy.
Ground ball left side. Lindor is up with it. Pretty good play by Santana. And there are 2 outs.
Mikel looks like maybe the foot was pulled or slightly off the base.
Larry Bowa is going to check that one out.
You know, only the runner. Only the runner can see the first baseman's foot.
It looks like he's leaned onto the bag still, isn't it?
Like right there, maybe his foot kind of slides forward off the bag. We don't have a good angle for sure. Dr. Video is getting a call. Says, let him have it.
Well, with 2 away, Ryan Howard is coming up. Up and away. Swing and a miss.
Well, first time through the order, a lot of first pitch fastballs. Second time through the order, starting with Herrera, Galvis, and Franco, all off speed.
Well, it looks like they have a plan right there for Howard to go up the ladder.
Sometimes I think with Ryan, one of his problems is he can hit every pitch, thinks he can hit every pitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He doesn't have like a little sweet spot. Whereas if it's not in that, I'm not swinging. That makes sense. You know, sometimes he loves when he sees the ball low, he loves it. Sometimes he sees it high, he loves it. He actually thinks he can hit them all.
Good point.
Oh! Look out, Mickey.
Watch that calf.
Mickey's got some moves with that calf, though. It's feeling a little bit better. Can't run as much. I said, you don't run anyway. Whoa. He is so flexible. He blew out his calf last week in Milwaukee.
Oh, really?
And Howard is down looking on strikes. He can't believe that was called a strike. And the side is retired in order. 4 strikeouts for Bauer. We've completed 3. We'll move to the 4th. It's 3-1 Phillies on top. Toyota, let's go places. Let's go Phillies. We go to the top of the 4th. Phillies are up 3-1.
Is that new?
Well, the RAV4th inning has been around the whole year, but the graphic, that real cool car, that's new. There's Michael Brantley to lead it off against Jared Eichhoff. Brantley flied out to left field his first time up. That was an easy play for Darren Ruff. Later on, the sac fly was not as easy. And the pitch is a strike on the outside corner. 0-1.
This kid is a good-looking hitter. Watched him on TV, Matt, last night, and I know you liked him a lot. His father was a hitting coach.
Yep. Mickey was very good.
Just missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
His father was a hitting coach, and when I changed my stance to where I knew I wasn't going to play a lot, I wanted to go to a simple stance. So he widened my hands or my feet and quieted my upper body, which helped out a lot. And then if I was struggling, I would give him a call. This is when I got traded. So I came from Toronto to here to wherever I went after that, and I would call him. I could hear him if it's in bed, he'd get out of bed. Or he'd get off the stool, and I could hear him get in my stance, and he would go through the stance, he'd go through my swing, and talk me through it. And that's how good he was. He could break it down, and he'd pick out a small thing. But you should see his son, this gentleman right here, hit off a tee. It is impressive. It is. I mean, he hits off a tee like there's no tomorrow.
Curveball. hit out towards second, and Hernandez, he's been busy tonight. And there's one away. Well, all around the ballpark tonight, you may have seen as you came into the gates the boxes for the non-perishable food, and plus the 50-50 raffle going to the Fans Feeding Families program. This is an initiative the Phillies took on several years ago. It began with the Halliday Family Foundation and has grown from there. The proceeds will go to the Fans Feeding Family program tonight, the 50-50, and then folks were dropping off non-perishable items as they came to the ballpark tonight. It's been a great program over the years as Santana shows bunt, and you'll be able to take part in it as the season moves on. You can check out Phillies.com for more information on it. And for more on the Fans Feeding Families program, here's Greg Murphy.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. We'll say hello to Glenn Bergman. He is the executive director of Philabundance, and it is a special night. Tom was just talking about Fans Feeding Families, and it all really kind of kicks off tonight.
That's right. It kicks off. It's the kickoff to bring awareness about summer meals for children. It's about 300,000 children every summer who need to find food when schools close.
Yeah, you know, we don't think about that so much, or maybe some folks that don't think about that so much, that when the kids aren't going to school, a lot of those students are getting 2 meals, sometimes 3 meals a day at school when school's not in session. That's where you guys step in.
Well, we do, other people do, and what we do is raise money, we raise food, and awareness about the problem so that people are aware of what's going on and bring food to people.
Can you talk about the relationship between Philabundance and the Phillies, and also all of your partners that we got a chance to see down on the field today?
It's an amazing partnership. It's been going on for 6 years. It's the Phillies, it's Citizens Bank, it's Goya, it's SEPTA. It's an amazing, Hatfield Meats. So it's an amazing partnership for the last 6 years that has helped us feed about 750,000 people.
Think about that. Think about if you guys were not around. That's 750,000 people that are going hungry. So the next question is, what can fans do in addition to bringing non-perishable items to the ballpark and doing their part that way? What else can they do now and year-round?
Well, year-round they can volunteer. They can volunteer with us with any type of pantry. They can donate to us by just going to philabundance.org, and there's a donation page on that. And we would just really be very humbled by their donations, so it'd be great.
And I guess the most important message is it's not just the winter and the holidays that people need food.
It's all year round. It's in every zip code we say, and $1 will provide 2 meals to a person. $1, 2 meals.
And the website is?
philabundance.org.
There you go, philabundance.org. Glenn, we thank you for your time. Congratulations on tonight, and good luck the rest of this year.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, let's send it back to you.
All right, Murph. Boy, Glenn's got an old school hat going on there, doesn't he? I mean, that's a fan right there.
Yeah. What a great program.
Awesome. And the Phillies, as Glenn even mentioned all the sponsors that are part of it. So many of the Phillies sponsors are part of it, and it goes a long, long way. Started with Roy Halladay, Roy and Brandy. Then Ryan Sandberg and his wife Margaret took it over. Now Mickey and Peg Morandini are the spokespeople for it. Mickey, of course, lives here in the Philadelphia area throughout the course of the year, so he kind of he understands the need to be involved in something that's as great as this. Two balls, 2 strikes to Uribe, and he flicks it foul. Well, this is Mickey before the game. He was greeting and thanking all of the sponsors who are part of the Fans Feeding Families program. And of course the Fanatic had to be in there. Swing and a miss. He got it with a curve. That is the first strikeout of the night for Jared Eichhoff, but it was a dandy of a pitch. 1, 2, 3 go the Indians. Now he didn't throw the curve at all in the first inning. He's starting to throw it now the second time through the order. Phillies lead it 3-1 as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. 14th when the Phillies take on the Cincinnati Reds, and a free Phillies cap to all fans will be given out. That's the cap right there. It's a good one. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Last of the 4th inning. Budweiser Rooftop is looking kind of busy tonight. Nice crowd settling in for this ball game. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Cameron Rupp will lead it off. He's 0 for 1. Pitch is on the outside corner. Cameron grounded out to second base his first time up. Bauer was the number 3 pick in the first round in 2011 by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Only 2 guys picked ahead of him. One was Garrett Cole, who was so good for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The other one was Danny Hultzen, who's a left-handed pitcher who's still in the minor leagues with the Seattle Mariners. Kind of goes to show you that sometimes those early first-round picks, some guys will make it, and some will make it fast, some will take some time. Outside, 3-1. Cole was picked twice in the first round.
You know you're good when that happens.
When you pick twice?
Yeah.
I think the other guy that was picked right after Bauer was Dylan Bundy, as that one is hit out to center field toward the end of the bat and caught by Naquin. Dylan Bundy, who's just now figuring it out with the Baltimore Orioles. It's 5 years ago. Sometimes they expect guys that are picked in the top 5 to make it in 1, 2, or 3 years. It's not always the case.
Well, it sure wasn't like that back in the day. It really wasn't. You'd go to the minor leagues and you'd spend 3 or 4 years, 5 years in the minor leagues. Had to earn your way up.
Yeah, it was really unusual to get there fast. I mean, names I remember, Dave Winfield. How about David Clyde? And he started for Texas right out of college.
Did you mention Chris Spire last
yes,
time we were
Yes,
here?
we talked about Chris Spire being one of the right out of high school unusual kids back in the day.
I don't know if anybody would ever be like Bob Horner and go right from
That's another one.
college to the pros anymore. I just don't know if anybody would do it. There has to be a little bit of seasoning, even if it's for a month or 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Darren Ruff.
Yeah, Darren got on that first ball fastball his first time up. Now he's having to battle a little bit here. He's seeing the whole kitchen sink coming up here. Had a good hack at that one.
Yeah, it was a good curveball to hit. He's actually, the 5 pitches that he's seen so far, he's seen 2 very good cutters.
You can tell Bauer has good stuff. He, 92, 93 cutter, curveball. Whoa, that's another good swing with 2 strikes there. You got to spoil the tough pitches with 2 strikes.
That was a good pitch, 96 on the outside corner.
And probably something, Matt, you'd agree that some of our hitters don't do enough of.
Breaking ball off the glove of Bauer, softly to Lindor, barehands and throws in time.
Oh, golly. You may want to look at that one. And that's a good at-bat by Darren Ruff right there. Very good at-bat. He spoiled that nasty fastball in the outside corner. Hit the curveball up the middle. Don't be so sure about that high five there, guys.
Well, this is a tremendous play, and I hate to say it, but I think he had him right here. It's a strong throw, good pick. Darren's foot's still in the air.
Wow. That's a heck of a play by Lindor. The ball was hit so hard by Ruff that he still had to make a great play to barehand it, but he had time. So,
yeah, but he should take a positive from that at bat.
Because he hit it hard, hit it through the middle, and fouled off some
well,
tough
yeah,
pitches.
I mean, it was what we call a quality at bat. I think, he would get credit for a quality at bat, right?
I would agree.
Yeah. And basically, that's your goal. as many quality at-bats as you can put out there. Guy with the most quality at-bats at the end of the year is probably the batting champion.
Very true.
Low ball 1-1-2. Cesar flied to center his first time up. More of a line drive that was hit pretty well. He lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boy, they really are getting the kitchen sink now. He's throwing everything.
Yeah, and that was a good take right there. I don't know if it surprised him or maybe they see something in the curveball, but 1 ball, 2 strikes. You're throwing a curveball. And being able to spit on a curveball like he did.
Ball 4, so Hernandez battles back to draw a walk with 2 outs.
That's a big at bat for the Phillies too. Brings Jared Eichhoff to plate, kind of pushes him out of the way, right?
Turns the lineup over. WB Mason offers the brands you love, like Swing Line's huge selection of laminators and shredders. Whether you're preserving your best work or safely destroying your most confidential documents, Swing Line and WB Mason deliver a cut above the rest. Who but WB Mason? We actually had some happiness in our office today because apparently our printer is now working. Larry Anderson's printer is now working, so that's good. We were about to call WB Mason and order a new printer.
Would have been here by now, right?
It would have been here by now.
And by the way, the old pitcher hitting 8th situation here is working out.
It is working out. Pete said, well, numbers wise, we may not be scoring a whole lot more runs, but we're winning.
That's all it counts.
Smile, cricket, something to smile about. Jason Kipnis stole the ATV before the ball game, and the Fanatic's always good when somebody steals the ATV, as long as they don't steal the key along with it. And the Fanatic was having some fun. Look at this. After Kipnis got off, the Fanatic. And Kipnis and his teammates loved it. And then he did a little cleaning after that was over with. Boy, if you get here early enough to watch the Fanatic fool around with the other team, spring training, he was on top of his game this year. We'll go to the top of the 5th inning. Naquin golfs one deep to right center field. Odubel on the run out to the scoreboard, reaches up, and it's off the scoreboard, backed up by Borges. Naquin's on his way to third, and Odubel is slow to get up. Boy, that was a perfect left-handed swing right there, and I think Odubel's okay.
Yeah, it's good to see him get up, but probably, bruise his back on that darn fence out there a little bit. But golly, credit to Peter Borges for going as far as he went right there. That's an inside the park home run. If Borges isn't over there backing that play up, he went a long way to get over there and get that ball, hold him to a triple.
It's good effort. Just out of the reach, but like you said, Mike, a very good point. If he doesn't get over there and back up that play, that's an easy four-bagger.
Here's Perez, who takes inside. Still shaking it off out there in center field.
That was a well-located first pitch fastball right there. Right on the inside corner, right on his hands. Normally a hitter's really aggressive in this situation. First pitch fastball. Now that was a hanging slider, right?
Sure was.
But again, it comes back to where we talk about mixing in some sliders and mixing in some changeups. You're not used to seeing. That's his fourth slider he's thrown. So you're not used to seeing it, and it freezes you, even though it should have been off the scoreboard.
I don't think of the two pitches. I think he's much more comfortable with the breaking ball or with the curveball,
yes,
than a slider, especially after he got away with that hanger.
Although it was his first major league start, he had an unbelievable slider that day.
Fastball hit in the air to center field. That'll be deep enough to score Naquin. Odubel Herrera is under it. He'll make the catch. The runner will come home from third, and it's a one-run game. Sacrifice fly for Perez. That's his first RBI.
I don't know if I like that pitch. It's kind of a second guess on my part right there. Maybe thinking strike out with high fastball. Or pop up in the infield, of course. But let's just say that's not the worst thing that can happen. I mean, the guy hits a triple and you get an out now. You're still ahead 3-2. Get out of this inning, and damage isn't that bad.
Chisenhall doubled his first time up.
Last two hitters pretty much squared up that fastball, though. That's the pitch I like, Matt, when he said get over curveball when he needs a strike.
That's the pitch I like right there. Brushing hitters back, but I agree. Getting that get me over curveball, especially a backdoor, left-handers give up on it all the time. Because one, if you're going to swing at it, we've seen it tonight, a lot of ground balls to second.
That one's off the glove of Eichhoff. It's into no man's land, and Chisenhall will be safe at first.
That's too bad, too, because that ball is a ground ball to Cesar at second base. I mean, you can't fault him for trying to reach up and catch it, but ours caroms off the pitcher's glove enough not to have a play at first base. Ruff's caroms off right to the shortstop.
MLB.com at bat is the #1 app to stay up to the moment at any moment with live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. 50-50 is still going on. The proceeds go to Fans Feeding Families, and it's up to $7,940.
No disrespect to my buddies here, but I love that condensed game on MLB at bat.
Does get you caught up. There are so many apps, whether it be for the NHL, the NFL, MLB, and those condensed games for all of them.
For us folks that go to bed at 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Bauer had to sacrifice his first time up, and he bunts that one foul off Rupp.
Same result as the first time he tried to bunt. Line drive off of Cameron's face mask. Speaking of NHL, Toronto Maple Leafs, as you see right here, this is a hard line drive right off the face mask. Top of the face mask.
Tell you what, if I was Mikhail Franco, I'd be right on top of that pitcher. Right on top of him. Take the whole front of home plate away. And yeah, I go in there and like almost 10 feet from the pitcher and say, oh, hey, if you don't like it, swing. Right? They are not going to hit the ball, I guarantee you. And if they do, the heck with it. Their job is to bunt.
He bunts it foul.
You want to get the pitcher to 2 strikes. That's where you want to get him. So you throw him a nasty hook and he's gone. And here probably they'll make him bump 2 strikes.
Last night, Corey Kluber had a double. It was the first extra base hit for the Indians since 2008. 1-2 pitch coming. And a breaking ball and a called strike 3. That was a knee buckler beyond knee buckler.
Especially when you're standing there facing him as opposed to looking at him from the side.
2 strikeouts for Eichhoff.
I don't think he picked up the rotation of this curveball very good.
Whoa.
Wow. Watch it from up above. It's a great shot. All right, so 2 away, and here is Kipnis. Mike, before we go any farther, Matt has to finish his NHL lottery story.
I was going to say the Toronto Maple
there.
Leafs won the lottery pick, and they get the first pick overall, which will be that young player Matthews, who's a tremendous, tremendous player.
Is he related to the Sarge? Gary Matthews?
No. Well, it might be. Never know.
Canada didn't have any representation in the playoffs, so we have to give Matt that tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. No balls and 1 strike to Kipnis. He is 0 for 1. He's grounded out and he's got a sac fly. Eichhoff trying to get through this 5th inning.
I tell you, there's no hockey live at a game, going to a game. I'll never forget going to a lot of Flyers games back, you know, when I knew a lot of the players on the team. There's nothing like going to a hockey game in person. You can have it on TV. I can't follow the puck, right? Unless it's slow, you know, a slow motion replay or
you're
something.
in bed by 9:30 anyway. You're not going to see the whole game. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kipnis.
Some serious athletes, though, those hockey players. Wow.
And that's down the right field line. Foul.
So you need, like we had a few years ago, they had a thing called Peter
little
Puck. And
the little
puck
thing that
was red.
Yes, I do. I'm not sure I'm the only one that would need that either.
Let's see what Rupp calls for here. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kipnis. Try to get him fastball. 94 on that fastball from Eichhoff.
I would ask you a hockey question. How do, when they redirect the puck, is that an accident or is that on purpose?
On purpose.
Great athletes.
Great eyes. Great eye-hand coordination.
When were you ever a goalie when you played?
No.
You have all your teeth.
Matt just smiled and showed all his teeth. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kipnis. Runner goes and the pitch is in the dirt. Nothing for Rupp to do. So there's a stolen base to put the potential tying run in scoring position. And now Rupp out to the mound just to chat with Eichhoff, get the sign straight with the runner at second base.
Interesting pitch coming up here. Don't want to go to 3-2. But you have first base open. Put a serious hurt on that fastball earlier in the game, didn't he? Straight away.
Yeah, that was the ball that Ruff tracked down. Curveball pulled foul. I don't know if he could sneak another one of those by him right here. This will be the 75th pitch of the night for Eichhoff, which is fine at this point.
Well, he's had a steady diet of fastballs inside and a slow curveball. This is a hard slider, but belt high inside a little bit and just blow that bat up. Changeup.
That changeup just sailed. Well, he's had a battle in the inning after the leadoff triple by Nate Quinn. He came around to score.
You get a shot of the Phillies defense here, man. I thought it's interesting why Hernandez is playing Kipnis really pull aggressive here. Yet Freddie is still playing almost straight away right-hander. That's a pretty wide hole up the middle there. And you always find that funny because hard shot at the right fielder, you got a chance at the plate. Same at the left field.
And a line drive towards center field. That'll be in for a base hit. The Indians will tie it up as Kipnis picks up his second RBI. And it's a 3-3 ball game. Second RBI for Kipnis. Second run scored for Chisenhall.
Those well hit balls, same spot as his line drive that Ruff caught.
That's just
he went. I'll tell you what, that's a very good at bat, and that was a good pitch. Give the hitter credit every now and then.
I thought I was supposed to give credit to the pitcher once in a while.
Yeah. Well,
hitters always get credit.
Both of them did good. The pitcher made a good pitch. The hitter made a good swing on a good pitch.
Well, last night it was the Phillies who were down 3-0. Tonight it was the Indians who were down 3-0. So we're even at 3 here in the 5th inning. Bob McClure finishes up his conversation with Jared Eichhoff. Pete has an extra arm in the bullpen tonight. Colton Murray's been added to the bullpen. I said an extra arm compared to last night. Dalier Hinojosa was not available last night, and he's been placed on the disabled list. So now Lindor, who is 0 for 2, he's grounded out twice. Both times to Cesar over at second base. Curveball swung on and missed, and it's 0-1. Boy, that's the pitch he was trying to get to Kipnis, and he just couldn't get it to that spot. Now, two different hitters, of course. Throws it again.
You know, the discipline it takes to hit that curveball is so much. You need so much more of it than you do a fastball. That ball just keeps rotating down, hunting the ground, and it's so hard not to swing over the top of it.
Well, you got to tell yourself, and there's not a lot of time to tell yourself, stay back. If you try to attack and you try to go after it, that's when you usually kill the worms and hit a weak ground ball to either third or first.
To either one of the hot corners.
Third base, Tom, is the hot corner.
Maybe you can get the fans involved in that.
First base,
we're trying to name first base.
It's a hotter corner. Here you go.
This doesn't roll though.
Well,
Matt.
yeah, but look. Okay. See where Ryan is?
It has to be hot. It's got to be hotter for Ryan Howard right now than for McHale. Oh.
Into center field. On his way to third is Kipnis, and now first and third with 2 men down. That ball just got past Cesar Hernandez, and Lindor has his second hit of the series. So 2 runs are in, and now 2 runners are on. And Eichhoff trying to get through this 5th inning. He's got a tough hitter in Brantley to face here.
Pitch down the zone again, but that second hop just kind of picked up and went past Caesar at second base.
I don't know if it didn't take the hop that Cesar expected or what.
Stayed down, didn't it?
Yeah, he dove and it just looked awkward.
He was a little late as well.
Brantley is 0 for 2. He's flied to left and he's grounded out. 6 hits now for the Indians. Ooh. And Lindor just gets back ahead of the tag by Ryan Howard.
Oh, how nice it would be to be a left-handed hitter in this situation. That's why the game is not fair. It definitely favors left-handed hitters.
Oh, out to center field. Odubel is there, and the inning is over.
I was getting ready to say they show a little overhead view of the infield there with a big hole at first base.
Eichhoff is through the 5th. We're tied up at 3. We're on to the 6th inning here in Philadelphia. Minor league report, and we've been going over the numbers the last few days. Boy, there's some pretty hot hitters, pretty good hot hitters going on right now in AAA and AA. Tommy Joseph is as hot as they come. 2 for 4 yesterday with a double and a 2-1 loss to Buffalo. Rhys Hoskins is red hot as well for the Reading Titans. You can go to Phillies.com or MILB.com and get caught up on all of the Phillies minor leagues. Jared Eichhoff and the Phils are tied up at 3, so Jared will sit and watch the offense try to get something rolling here in the bottom of the 5th inning against a settled down Trevor Bauer, who was not allowed a hit since the 2nd. And he'll begin the 5th inning with 66 pitches against Peter Borges. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. He's changed his approach, so the Phillies have to change their approach. He's not as aggressive in the strike zone with his fastball. In fact, he's throwing some other pitches besides the fastball.
Yeah, he's starting to mix in some more curveballs and a lot of cutters.
Up high, 3-0 to Borges.
Good take right there. I'll take a couple more pitches now leading off the inning. We need base runners. Matty, staying with your advice there with the bat on the shoulder.
Ball 4.
It's good at bat.
Yep. Second walk issued by Bauer. And the leadoff hitter's aboard now for Odubel Herrera, who is 1 for 2. Single to start the game, scored on the home run by Galvis. He's also flied out to left. Mike, you liking all these walks that Odubel's putting together? I mean, I know you said that
absolutely.
You thought.
Absolutely. I love walks. I think it's the most underrated stat on the offensive side of baseball. Matt doesn't like him so much, but no, I'm just
within reason.
I'm kidding you.
No,
I'm kidding. You don't like him so much for Odubel because you think he could be more of a run producer.
I do.
And I don't disagree with that.
I think what did he have, 30 doubles last year?
I don't disagree with that. However, I think he is doing a yeoman's job as a leadoff hitter, and I think he's enjoying it, and I think the team is having success because of it.
No, it's because the pitcher's hitting 8th. No, I agree, and it is. He's walking a lot. He's setting the tone. The pitchers are throwing a lot of pitches to him throughout a game, which is great. I just don't want him to lose being aggressive hitting.
Yeah, back to your question. From my perspective on Odubel individually, I think 70, 80 walks. He's on pace for 100 right now. He's definitely going to hit 310 to 330 if he gets 100 walks. I mean, he's a lock to be a 300 hitter with 80 walks.
Borges leads off first. And he fouls it away.
That's right. And the walks lead to runs scored. The walks lead to setting the table, pressure on the opposition, more pitches for the pitcher.
Down the road, if Roman Quinn ever makes it to the big leagues, then he'll most likely be the leadoff hitter, and then they could move Herrera if they have to down.
And then you want him to walk because you know he can steal second and third.
I think Odubel is a really good base runner as well. I mean, watching you guys on this last road trip, I remember there was one game he got that. Remember when he got that jump on that ball in the dirt in a key moment of the ball game? He was on second and he went to third on a ball that did not bounce away too far from the catch. I'm trying to think whether that was Washington or Milwaukee, but he's a good base runner.
Two. Way outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Plus, you know what? He's got a little Pete Rose in him too. You know, he likes setting the table. He's got his little hand clap thing going when he gets the base on balls.
Oh, he's the player that drives the other team crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
We used to feel that way about Jose Reyes when he was with the Mets. Not as much with the Marlins, but when he was with the Mets. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Marlins and the Brewers are in the top of the 5th inning. Miami leads it 5-1. Stanton's is starting to heat up a little bit. Dietrich, Echeverria have all homered. Last night, Adam Conley had a no-hitter in the 8th inning and 116 pitches, and Don Mattingly lifted him from the game. No no-hitter tonight. Two balls and 2 strikes to Odubel.
See, Matt, what I like about him, I wouldn't like it if I was playing against him, but he hits at his pace. You know how some pitchers make you kind of hit at their pace?
Yep.
They get mad if you don't get in the box and, get the game going. Watch him. Don't rush me. I got to dig in. I'm thinking about the next pitch. He gets 1 pitch in the time that most hitters get two, you know what I mean? 2 pitches anyway.
He definitely is at his own pace.
Yeah, and Herrera wasn't a big fan of that rule last year of keeping a foot in the batter's box at all time.
I don't even think he knew the rule was last year.
That's a good point.
We know a lot of pitchers back in the day that wouldn't stand for this, right?
Borges gets back. He's trying to figure Bauer out. Bauer's changing up his looks and his move.
It's actually a good time to run because if it's 2-2, he's going to throw a fastball. Herrera's going to be swinging in the strike zone, and if he's going to throw the off-speed pitch, it's a good time to go. Get a good jump out in the off-speed pitch.
This at-bat's taking a good 5-6 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. Borges does not go. The pitch is high, 3-2.
Now this is why I tell you, you got to love this kid and how he values an at-bat. He was 0-2 at one time.
Right.
He's still staring at the pitcher, taking his time. Fans come to watch me hit, right?
Borges goes, and the pitch is chopped over the head of Santana into right field. Borges on his way to third, and Odubel has his second hit of the night. Well, that worked out well.
I'm telling you, that's the kind of an at-bat that changes the complexion of a game. Just an at-bat like that. That at-bat and what happened in a setup can set up a real big inning right here. You know, you got 2, 3, 4 coming up. I realize it was a high chopper over the first baseman's head. You credit Borges for having a good at-bat and walking, which makes him hold him on. It's an out if he's not holding the runner on.
But it also comes back to where you said earlier, to be a left-handed hitter in this situation.
Oh, did I say that?
Because you have first and third, and you have that great big giant hole between first and second base.
I hit probably 500 of those in my career for
Should've
outs.
been a switch hitter,
for
Mike.
outs.
You had the option to be a left-hander when you were a kid.
Terry Francona's going to lift Bauer with nobody out here in the 5th inning.
That at-bat, I tell you, I keep harping on that at-bat, but that at-bat is the at-bat that pitcher will remember.
Well, I think he's going to remember that he's getting taken up with 78 pitches.
So Odubel's at first, Borges at third, and we've got a pitching change. Well, Colorado is the destination this year from Thursday, July 7th through Monday, July 11th. The package includes airfare options, hotel accommodations, tickets to all 4 games against the Rockies, brunch with us broadcasters. You get custom merchandise and a Coors Field tour. Go to Phillies.com/Phillies Vacations or call 877-833-7326. And you get to travel with the Bull, and you've traveled with the Bull a lot in your life. So
Always have. Travel with the Bull.
This is Kyle Crockett, who's on for Bauer. Now, Bauer was making his first start. He did start some games in spring training, but was working out of the bullpen, and he was taking the spot for the injured Carlos Carrasco. So maybe Terry Francona had an 80-pitch count with him, or something in that neighborhood. He wasn't pleased when he left the game, and now he'll give way to Crockett.
I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher happy when they leave the game. You know what I mean? They always think they should stay out a little longer, but first start of the year is what, 78 pitches. You got first and third. Put Freddie on the weaker side, on the right side.
Galvis shows bunt, takes a strike, and it's 0-1. He had a chance last night.
Excuse me, was that a bunt to take, or was that a?
I think he was going to try to bunt it to the right side, and then Borges would read it to come home. This is Freddie in the first from the left side.
It's amazing what happens when you go down on the baseball and throw the barrel. Crushes that ball to right field.
1 ball, 1 strike to Galvis. In the dirt.
Getting back to your point about the first pitch that he faked the bunt, I'm kind of glad he didn't. Because basically if he gets the bunt down, yeah, you take the lead 4-3. But now you have a man on second base, Michael Franco, who's your best hitter.
Absolutely.
He's going to be walked intentionally. It's a 5th inning. We want to double anyway.
Double back pretty easily. Crockett last year pitched in 31 games for the Indians, had an ERA of over 4. In fact, he pitched not only last year for Terry Francona, but also the year before out of the bullpen. Former 4th round selection. Freddie out in front. Two balls and 2 strikes. That did get somebody down the left field line, but they look like they're okay.
Deflected off that person's glove. Hit a person about 5 or 6 rows behind them.
Middle infielder setting up to turn 2 possibly. And Galvis pulls it right at third. Uribe goes to the third base bag. Borges caught in a rundown, and he is out. Because he went out of the baseline, according to the third base umpire, Chris Guccione. .525 on the putout. It's a fielder's choice to put runners on first and second. Base runners are taught to go with a runner at first and nobody out, because you try to avoid the double play.
Actually, that with 1 out. I mean, isn't it an automatic go with 1 out?
With 1 out, I'm sorry.
With nobody out. That was no man's land right there. I mean, bam, boom. The ball was almost like a pickoff throw. Bullet hit to the third baseman, and he couldn't get back, so he had only one choice, and that's getting a run down. I think it was Larry's probably telling him right now you had no chance on that ball. That's the one ball that really kills you in that situation. We still got first and second. 1 out.
Pitching change for the Indians. Time now for the Jeep Stuff the Feds trivia quiz answer. All right, guys, I think you got this answer. The answer for the Indians' all-time home run leader.
Matt's got this one.
Jim Thome?
Jim Thome is correct with 337 home runs. Matt, you have a reason why you know this?
I do, because I remember when he broke the record and he had the press conference. And we all know and love Jim Thome, but he can say some of the funniest stuff. And he says, you know, I'm glad I broke this record in one jersey. Well, when you break a franchise record, you're not going to wear one jersey, right? So he was happy he could break it with wearing one jersey. Unless he meant he wore one jersey his whole career. I don't know, but anyway.
We know what he meant.
It's funny the things that you remember, isn't it?
Well, there's a lot of sayings you remember what Jim says.
Well, Jim Thome, 337 career home runs. Albert Bell was the guy that Charlie Manuel used to talk about all the time about how good he was. Manny Ramirez.
Wasn't Rocky Calavito on the Indians?
Well, he was. He must not have been among the leaders, though.
Hal Trotsky?
Yep. Do you remember Hal Trotsky?
No, I don't. That's where I got that old home run derby show question.
It's a great show. Great
Rocky
show.
Calavito.
Didn't you wish it was around when you were playing that you could have done that?
I used to love it, though, when I was a kid watching it.
So Java Chamberlain is in, and Maikel Franco is up. He's 0 for 2, one man down, runners on first and second. In the dirt, 1 ball, no strikes.
You know, they won $2,000.
It's a big deal
for winning that, for winning the home run derby, and the loser, I think, got 500 or something.
And party gifts. Phillies trying to break this 3-3 tie in the bottom of the 5th inning. Third pitcher of the inning for the Indians. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, that was a really good pitch and a fastball count. Late breaking. Guess that was a slider. Well, it had some down to it. Wow, it's like a splitter, maybe. God, I'm glad they didn't have that pitch when I played.
In the dirt again, 2-1.
Guy that made it famous was Bruce Sutter, of course. He threw 90% splitters, but only threw them about 78 to 80, 82 miles an hour. Guys were throwing them, you know, 85 to 90 nowadays.
Just dropped off the table, it seems. Chamberlain used to be a mid to high 90s pitcher.
Then all of a sudden New York tried to experiment and put him in the starting rotation.
Yeah.
Wrong thing to do.
Outside, 3-1.
He was a guy that would come in the 8th inning before Mariano Rivera. And he would come in, and I'm telling you, he threw a heavy fastball, mid-90s, 98, 99, and he had a lot of energy. Now all of a sudden when they brought him in to be a starting guy, he had to calm down. Because there's no way he could have lasted 7 innings of doing what he did.
Well, we got a big pitch coming here, gentlemen. 3-1 to Maikel Franco. Ryan Howard on deck. Boy, this takes discipline as a hitter, Matt. You know you're in a fastball count. Is that the splitter?
Slider.
Slider.
Yeah.
He always had a good slider.
That's a perfect location, thinking it's a heater out in front of it. Again, you get in that situation, 3-1. You're the best hitter on the team. You're the power threat. You need to back it up a little bit and maybe think about right center.
Well, he needs to do that right now.
Absolutely.
3-2. There's no reason you'll throw 3-2, but you'll throw 3-1.
It's coming fastball inside.
Runners take their lead. And that one is lined out toward right field. Venturing back is Chisenhall, and he'll make the catch. Odubel was too far off the bag. And he'll go back to second. Runners on first and second with 2 men down. That'll bring Ryan Howard to the plate. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Well, it was less than 24 hours ago when Ryan Howard stepped to the plate in the bottom of the 11th inning in last night's game, and, well, he walked off the hero, the home run to right field, his 6th career walk-off, as you have talked about. That is now tied for second place in Phillies history. 5 of those have come in extra innings, so that is coming up clutch for the big piece. Of course, as you mentioned, the guy to your right, Mike Schmidt, holds the franchise record with 10. But how about this? Among active players in Major League Baseball, now 3rd place is Ryan Howard, behind only Albert Pujols and Alex Rodriguez, guys.
Well, it was nice to see. And it was nice to see Ryan put together the 3-hit night with 2 extra base hits.
You know, I never got a pie or a bucket of water or anything dumped on me.
We can get the fanatic involved if you want. Howard's up with runners on first and second. And that one gets away, and the runners will move up to second and third. Boy, if only that could have happened when Franco was up.
Well, if it could have happened with Odubel Herrera reading the ball better to right field and being able to go back and tag and go from second to third.
Let me ask you a question. So let's say that didn't happen, and now the Cleveland Indians are saying, are they breathing a slight sigh of relief right now because they can walk Ryan Howard?
Pitch around him or walk him intentionally?
Apparently they're not going to walk him intentionally. Is this one of those with throw ball 2 you'll walk him intentionally?
Maybe.
It could be.
He threw him ball 2, but he went after it. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Are they going to throw him 3 or 4 of those things and see what happens?
I think they probably are.
And the point I was going to make, had they put up 4 fingers and walked him, was why wouldn't they do that with men on first and second?
This would be a psychological thing.
No disrespect to Cameron, but I'm just saying, if you're so worried about Ryan Howard, how come in baseball you never walk a guy with men on first and second, only with first base open?
On the outside corner at 95, 1-2.
I remember Ryan Howard being walked with the bases loaded one time, back in the old 2007-8 range, somewhere in there. I remember at the end of the year at the Nationals Park.
There was all those home runs.
Oh,
Frank Robinson walked him intentionally with bases loaded.
Yeah, that might have been with nobody on. One of the two. It was a crazy time to walk a guy. That's how good he was that year.
Perez out to talk to Chamberlain. I can't imagine he's going to get anything other than a slider here, right?
Well, he just got a fastball. Might have been a little off the plate, right? But
the only reason why you might get a fastball is
you don't want to bounce it.
Well, or you're thinking, hey, he's looking off speed. I'm going to surprise him with a heater, but.
Great.
Oh, here comes Odubel, and he is out at home plate. Boy, did he take a chance on that one. It didn't roll that far. It's a gutsy play. Now Pete McCadden saying, let's hold up. He may have gotten his hand in there.
Hope he didn't hurt himself. Acting kind of funny.
Stretching himself out. Take a look from up top. He got him.
He never touched home
No,
plate.
he pushed him away from the plate.
Check the ball. Is it in his glove or in his bare hand?
Boy, that's a good question, too.
Well, he still hadn't touched home plate.
That's a good point, though, Matt.
Right on the tag, right here. The ball's in his bare hand.
You think so? They're going to review it. Ryan Howard's calling it safe. So they must think that he did get his hand in. And, Matt, maybe that's what the thought is that the ball was out of the glove when the glove hit the body. I couldn't tell, honestly. Clearly, I couldn't tell. But that may be what they're looking at right now. I know it's an instinctive move. I mean, it really didn't roll far enough for him to do it.
Never touched home plate.
I tell you,
that's really close. Either way, it's really close.
This is the best view. Watch his right hand, the ball coming out of the glove.
Yeah, you could be right, Matt, but I don't know if it's clear enough for them to overturn it. That's the problem.
Might not be.
This may get, well, no, this isn't going to. This is going to give you a look that he tagged him, but it's whether his hand. Oh no, his hand's out of the glove. His hand looks like it's out of the glove there.
But I don't think his hand touches the plate.
You don't know if it touched the plate at all?
I think, like you said earlier, he pushed him away so his fingers don't touch the plate.
Hand is out.
The hand's out of the glove, isn't it?
Yeah, they're going to call him out. They just signaled out,
yep.
So it's confirmed. So the inning is over. And then you debate whether it was the right play to try to score from third when the ball was only a few feet in front of the plates.
That would have been a heck of a play if they called him safe.
We're tied at 3. We'll go to the 6th here in South Philadelphia. Our Independence Blue Cross Philly of the Week has enjoyed the first month of the 2016 season. Mikel's bat has connected with consistency and done so with eye-opening power as expected when he arrived at the major league level. In addition to the bat, the glove has been quite impressive itself over at the hot corner. Quick on his feet, Franco rarely lets a ball get by, and he can make throws from wherever he lands. And his early season performance is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, the catcher for the Cleveland Indians, Roberto Perez, was able to tag Odubel Herrera trying to come home from third. It was a quick review by the folks in New York. Whether Odubel was right to come home or not, I mean, it's over with. It's his instincts. I mean, he's had to play in front of him. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Santana and a breaking ball. It's in there. There's a lot that went wrong in that inning for the Phillies, not being able to score at that point. See Juan Samuel and Pete McCannon talking.
Yeah, you can go back and look at that inning. I'll give you my opinion. 2 strikes on Ryan Howard. Maybe 1 strike, no strikes. But once you got to the 2 strike count, Santana goes down on strikes. You know, worth the try if he gets a good jump. If he's got a good secondary lead.
That's the key. Is if you got a good read and had a good secondary lead, you knew you could get there, go right ahead.
Also, the ball hits in the dirt, and you know if he goes right away, and the ball really doesn't bounce as far away as it ended up, we get a look at it here. Little stutter step right there.
It was pretty close too.
It was close.
Uribe lifts it to shallow right field. Peter Borges is there. And he makes the catch. 2 outs. 2 quick outs for Eichhoff, who sat for a while.
Well, they're going to take a little time for this hitter to get up there. But that's one. And then, of course, Matt brought up the point, and you brought up the point. Should he have tagged? Should Odubel have tagged on Franco's fly ball to right field against the wall. My position on that is if the ball hits off his glove or hits off the wall, you have to be able to score. And if you hang near second base with, with the plan of tagging up if he catches it, to go to third with 2 outs, you wouldn't score. If you go halfway to third and the ball does go off the fence or something and bounce right to the right fielder, you'll still score. On the other hand, worst case, if the right fielder doesn't catch it, you end up at third base with 1 out.
Yeah.
It's a complicated game, gentlemen.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Hey, you got to make that all that I said. You got to make that decision in like a 1/10 of a second.
There's the 0-2 pitch. Up high to Nick Quinn, who has 2 hits tonight. He's got a single and a triple.
Yeah, this could be a nice quick inning here. 2 quick outs and an 0-2 count.
Got him. A foul tip hung on to by Rupp. A 1-2-3 inning for Eichhoff, his second one, making his 3rd one of the night. 4 strikeouts along the way, on to the bottom of the 6th there in Philly. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. Buy McDonald's. Jumpstart your morning with a hot or iced McCafe coffee. Now starting at just $1. And buy Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers and our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. They got their eye black, or in this case, their Phillies red under their eyes just to cut down the glare as they're watching today's ball game. Those little guys are ready to go out there. Get a chance to look into the bullpen, which is active right now for the Indians. They've got a right-hander loosening up. Looks like Tommy Hunter, just brought up yesterday. So Ryan Howard will lead it off against Jabba Chamberlain here in the 6th. He was up when Odubel was tagged out trying to score from third. Phillies will get their bullpen going right now. Out front, 1 ball, 1 strike. Andrew Bailey, who had a good 2 innings yesterday, excellent 2 innings yesterday, loosening up. Fastball and a called strike 3. So Howard's down looking. That was a well-dotted 95-mile-an-hour pitch by Jabba Chamberlain.
That was a pretty good sequence of pitches by Jabba. A very good fastball, some good sliders. This pitch here at 95, low and away. Unless you're looking in that spot, there's absolutely nothing you can do.
Cameron Rupp is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and he's flied out to center. 1 ball and no strikes. Chamberlain's had Tommy John surgery. In fact, he had Tommy John surgery when he was with the Yankees. He was throwing 94 and he just felt a little discomfort, but he was still throwing 94. And then they did an MRI and noticed that the ligament was torn, so they did the surgery.
Tell you what, I'm seeing some sharp breaking stuff and a nice fastball right here. This is impressive.
Yeah, he looks like he's back to the way he was. Where you were talking about, Matt, how good he was out of the Yankees bullpen to set up for Mariano. 2-1.
He might not be that power guy. I mean, he still is throwing 95, but you know, when he first came up, he didn't have that very good slider like he does now.
Change up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Popped up on the right side. Kipnis, the second baseman, is there. There are 2 outs. Group tickets are available for groups of 25 or more. Plenty of benefits and special options, special fundraising opportunities, and a great way to raise funds and awareness. For more information, go to Phillies.com/group tickets. I don't think she's that mean. I don't know how you guys feel. I don't think she's really that mean.
I don't think she's very shy.
Definitely doesn't look shy. Well, 2 quick outs for Chamberlain, and Darren Ruff is coming up.
Everybody's camera savvy nowadays, aren't they?
Yeah. Darren has hit the ball hard both times tonight. He doubled his first time up. Hit one off the glove of Bauer that was fielded by Lindor at short. And he takes outside 1-0. Well, let's see if he can carry those 2 at-bats into this AB here against a different pitcher. Fastball. Well, he's got good command of that fastball. I don't know. He's only thrown 1 fastball per AB, it seems, though.
Seems like it, and when he does throw it, it's right on the corner. That one there might have caught a little bit more of the plate. That's off.
But it's right where the catcher wants it.
Now 2-1 situation. You sit off speed.
This is a slider pitch, really.
It is.
Yep.
Hang it. Or spike it.
Angrily.
All right, now, if you're Darren Ruff here right now, the pitch that you are looking for is the same pitch you took, the same fastball you took on the outside corner. I don't care if it's on the outside corner. I don't care if it's an inch off the 2 inches off the outside corner. Here's with 2 outs where you need to get a healthy hack at this fastball. If he throws you a slider and you make an out, so what? You've got to be aggressive on this fastball.
And he throws the breaking ball, and it's 3-2.
I really don't think he took that because it was a breaking ball. I think he just froze on it. You know, it was close to 90 miles an hour anyway, right?
Spoils it to stay alive. Cesar's on deck.
Ned, you'd already had a couple of home run swings, wouldn't you? Huh?
Well, I do that every time, but I think you got to remember too, you're playing American League Baseball where they pitch backwards. 3-2, pretty good chance the heater's coming.
There it is, ball 4. Chamberlain thought it was a strike, and Darren Ruff works out a walk to bring Cesar Hernandez to the plate. How did the Eagles do in the draft? Get total draft recap and expert analysis and reports direct from Chicago and the NovaCare Complex on Draft Central tonight at 11 on Comcast Sportsnet. Speaking of Chicago, the Braves and the Cubs were rained out today. It was apparently bitter cold, and the projected forecast was rain the whole day. Here's Cesar with Ruff at first. David Lowe out in the on-deck circle. Ground ball to second. And Kip misses up a little. Side is retired. No runs, no hits, and one man left. She's still going. We're going to the 7th in a 3-3 ball game. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. We're tied at 3 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Both starting pitchers are done for the night. Jared Eichhoff went 6, allowed 6 hits and 3 runs, no walks and 4 strikeouts. His evening is complete. Freddie Galvis' 2-run home run to the first gave the Phils a quick lead. They added another one to make it 3-0. So now as we go to the 7th, Andrew Bailey off an effective outing last night, where he threw 2 scoreless innings, struck out 4, walked 1. And he's out there to pitch the 7th. First pitch is in there for a strike. Roberto Perez is the first batter he'll face. This guy was pretty amped last night, getting a chance to pitch.
Oh, I like his action. High energy, right?
That slips inside 1-1. I mean, he was moving every which way yesterday as he was getting ready to throw the ball.
Well, the stats said today we have 3 guys in the bullpen strike out 6 out of 10 batters.
That is correct. Wow, remarkable. Outside 2-1. Phillies bullpen 88 strikeouts coming into tonight's game. That's tied for first with Arizona. As we mentioned, they have the overall lead in strikeouts for the entire staff. But 88, I mean, you want guys coming out throwing strikes and punching guys out. Inside 3-1. Last night he did walk 1 batter, but that was after he struck out the first 4 that he faced. They'll be dealing with Perez, Chisenhall, and then the pitcher spot. Over to third, backhanded by Franco from behind the bag and in time.
Nice play by Ryan Howard over there. Good footwork. Making that look like a good throw. It was a little high. Sure-handed Maikel Franco. It's a strong and accurate arm from that angle. You know? Remember old Johnny Vukovic used to throw a little kind of like three-quarter like that and had a tremendously good and accurate arm.
Chisenhall has 2 hits tonight. Ground ball right side. Howard has it. Bailey's there to cover. 2 outs. 6 in a row retired by the Phil's staff, and now Marlon Byrd will come up. They'll give Bailey a few moments to catch his breath.
Well, that helps things go from a 6-pitch at bat and a 3-2 count to a 7-pitch and 2 outs.
Well, and this is a pitch right here that I absolutely love from Bailey. It's that hard slider in between a slider and a cutter. It's almost like a natural cut. Sometimes he can throw 93, 94 with his fastball, but all of a sudden he'll throw a 91, 92 mile an hour fastball that automatically cuts. But that pitch right there, being able to throw that to left-handers and getting it under their hands, you're going to get a lot of jam shots and a lot of 3-1s.
Marlon Byrd pinch hitting, pops it foul, out of play, and it's 0-1.
Not a lot you can do with that ball,
no.
Matt. The one you're talking about, that slider down on it from that left hand. He read fastball and took a fastball swing at it, and just the movement on the ball got us a little ground ball.
The only thing you're hoping that happens is that you hit it off your foot. I mean, seriously, you are. You're hoping you foul it off your foot to get another chance.
Fly ball right field. Borges settles under it. And the side is retired. 8-pitch 7th inning for Andrew Bailey. He loves pitching in his own backyard. Time to stretch here in Philadelphia. Here in the home 7th inning as they're battling the Indians in game 2 of this 3-game series. Peeking inside the dugout. See Dalia Hinojosa with his jacket on. He's on the disabled list now for the Phillies. Tommy Hunter, speaking of the disabled list, has been activated by the Indians. Was yesterday. Those are his numbers from a season ago. 2-2 with an ERA of 3.63. And he's going to face David Lowe, who will pinch hit.
Tommy Hunter, very good fastball. Anywhere between 94 and 98. He also throws a cutter at 87 to 90. And has an overhand curveball at 82 to 85.
Last year he pitched for the Orioles and the Cubs. Those were his combined numbers between the two. Signed as a free agent by the Indians not until February. So here's David Lowe. I asked David Lowe before the ballgame today. I said, you were standing on first base last night, bending over, holding your hands. What was wrong? He said the little bloop he hit out to left field rattled his hands. He said he was trying to get the feeling back in them.
First pitch 95. Must be feeling pretty healthy.
To center field.
Ooh, misread that ball.
And it's going to drop in front of Naquin. Little bloop again. So hands may be rattled again. It's not as cold tonight.
That's okay though. You'll take it. Look, he's grimacing. Wow. Good old batting gloves. That's why you wear two on a night like this. Two pairs of batting
gloves. Would you wear two?
Oh heck yes.
I wouldn't know how you'd be able to grip the bat.
I would. My hands wouldn't sting on one of those though. Well, you see right there how the center fielder misjudged it. Match, on the swing, looks like a good swing and looks like it hits centered up on the bat. You go back first and boom, it's off the end.
That's why they always try to teach an outfielder to freeze then read, which, trust me, is easier said than done.
See what Borges does here. The Uribe's creep it into third on the grass. Peter butts it toward the right side. It's an excellent bunt. Hunter off with the mound, and he flips underhand. So the sacrifice is successful. 1-4 on the putout.
Very nice bunt. Nice play by the defense too. Second baseman had to go a long way to get to first base. Hunter kind of led him to the bag.
I like the fact that Peter Borges was actually turning early, but you can see how far the second baseman has to come to get there. I think it's a nice, strong underhand feed. A lot of ground covered right there.
So Odubel tonight is 2 for 3. Lowe with good speed off second base. Out to left field. Should be an easy play for Brantley. Well, there are 2 outs. So 2 away now for Freddie Galvis.
Just was settling in for a long at bat there.
I was too. I was thinking the same thing.
2-ball and it got jammed a little bit on that first pitch.
I figured he hadn't seen this guy. He might, take a few just to look at it. Freddie is homered tonight. He is struck out. The fielder's choice is last time up. Naquin is shallow in center field. Brantley the same in the offside and left. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, he looks healthy. 95.
Big question is he looks healthy today at throwing 95. How's he going to bounce back tomorrow? That's the question.
Broken bat, bloop down the right field line. This could be trouble. It is trouble. Lowe will score, and the Phillies retake the lead. It's a 4-3 ball game. He couldn't do that again if he tried.
Whoa. Big night, Freddie. This ball, I don't know how you can drop a broken bat hit in down the line like that.
Well,
I know how you could do it the other way. Took a big home run swing, right?
Well, it's a cutter that doesn't hit off the barrel, that's for sure. Breaks his bat. Couple plays, the first knock by Lowe, Freddie Galvis. Interesting to see the Indians outfielders didn't try to dive for it.
I agree with you on that. That ball hung up there for a while.
The first one I understand. That one there, I thought maybe you might see him try to lay out and try to catch it.
Yeah.
Franco pops it up a mile high. Uribe over toward the third base dugout and leads it and makes the catch. A fantastic play by Uribe to get to the spot and put it away.
Is their player allowed to hold on to him while he's catching that ball in the dugout?
I believe he is. Phils take the lead. We'll go to the 8th. Is brought to you by your local Ford stores. By Jefferson. Call 800-JEFF-NOW or visit jefferson.edu. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Play Escape to Margaritaville, the new instant game for the Pennsylvania Lottery. Player must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. I used to love getting those
got
helmets.
him a new helmet.
Yeah, I used to love getting those helmets.
Is he just trying that on, or
No, I think that's his.
is he purchasing this?
I think he's purchasing it. I didn't see the wallet come out, but I think somebody may have paid for it for him.
Is that thing adjustable?
It is adjustable. When I was a kid, I had 38 of them.
Helmets.
I had every team plus the changes that went through. I collected them. 38. They're somewhere in my basement.
Oh, that could be on a wall or something really cool.
Thought about that. Yeah, I thought about that. All right, so we go to the top of the 8th inning here. And Elvis Araujo is going to be the pitcher for the Phillies. And Elvis will be on to face Jason Kipnis, Francisco Lindor, and Michael Brantley. Kipnis has 2 RBIs tonight. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. Pete was not sure whether Hector Neris would be available tonight, so this is usually his inning. He's thrown a lot. One ball, one strike. Araujo was a former Cleveland Indian, although he never pitched above Double-A for them.
Boy, he's got to be intimidating to a left-handed hitter.
How big he looks on the mound just for that camera shot.
I mean, I'm not talking Randy Johnson intimidating, but you know, it's 6'6", 6'7", whatever he is. A little three-quarter delivery.
Yeah, crossfires a little bit.
Popped up down the left field line. Franco and Galvis have a long run, and it's going to drop into no man's land. And it remains 1-2. Galvis is the only one that could have probably made that play. It just was too far away from him.
All right, let's give him a little breather here. Hang on a second. Yeah, that'll give him a breather. That's a long run. That's like 60 yards.
Swing and a miss. He got him. One away here in the 8th inning. Francisco Lindor's coming up. Time for the Major League Notebook. Murph, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Talking about some home runs in the Major League Notebook today. You mentioned Giancarlo Stanton today as the Marlins are all over Milwaukee. Well, how about this home run? The home run you talked about, 462 feet. When you talk about exit velocity, they said it came off his bat at 117 miles per hour. It is the 6th home run over 460 feet so far this season. And when you talk about home runs, you also have to talk about Trevor Story in Colorado. We saw last night he hit home run number 10. He is the fastest player in Major League history to hit 10 home runs in his first 21 games. That's the fastest that's ever happened. Of course, his first 4 hits in Major League Baseball were home runs, and he had 7 home runs in his first 6 games. That's a pretty good April for the young man playing for Colorado, and a pretty good way to start off his rookie season as well.
Yes, they were looking for somebody to take Troy Tulowitzki's spot, and well,
they may have found it.
There you go. Thanks, Murph. I think we'll all get a chance to enjoy that home run by Stanton after this game. 462.
Yeah, I wish the Notebook had video. I'm sorry it does not, because I saw it and it's impressive.
Maybe that's the next step.
You know, that's the home run. That's actually the 2nd fastest home run hit this year.
What's the fastest?
Carlos Gonzalez at 117.4.
I knew you had it.
Coming off the bat at 117.4 for a home run. You would think line drives going back up the middle would come off a little hotter than that.
Maybe they do. They just don't measure. Do they measure them?
I don't know.
There's a base hit to right field.
To me, that is one useless statistic.
Velocity off the bat.
I agree.
That's for guys that have nothing else to do.
You know what it is? It's a dig me number. So how hard you hit the ball? I hit the 117.4. You know, you can pop your collar and kind of dig yourself saying, yeah, I hit a ball that hard. Who cares? I bet you Mike Smith hit a ball 120 miles off his bat, but right at somebody, can of corn. So what? Give me a break.
Who cares what your club head speed is in golf?
Is it going to get the ball farther?
Farther left in the woods.
Dig me stat.
It is.
I mean, all the good golfers are like lumped in right around the little same miles per hour.
Yeah. By the way, the Story kid, Trevor Story, you know what he needs if the next month if he's going to hit 10? He needs somebody to get on base. He's got 10 homers and 17 RBIs.
I'm kidding.
He should be running away with the RBI title at this point. 0-1 to Brantley with 1 out and a runner at first. 0-2 to Brantley. 94 in the inside part of the plate.
Although that Story kid does hit in the 2nd. He hits 2nd in the lineup.
Carlos Santana's on deck. Elvis Araujo trying to get the Phils to the bottom of the 8th inning.
Checked out line a little bit throwing to first base.
He was awfully close to it.
You thinking they might want to run this hitter out of a 2-strike count?
Yeah, maybe with 2 outs, I would think.
Well, yeah, right. Good point.
Unless they're thinking maybe he's coming back with a slider.
Ball's 2 strikes to Brantley. Lindor does have speed, inching off first. He goes. Pitches inside. Throw to second is wide, and Galvis cannot get the tag back in time. 4th stolen base of the year for Lindor. Pete's looking over at Larry Bowa, who's getting on the phone to see if he was out or not. And he is there. That was a lot closer than I thought on that reach.
Well, you know, Elvis gets the ball home pretty quick. He might not have the quickest feet, but throwing 94-mile-an-hour fastball to home, and then all of a sudden Cameron comes up, throws an exit velocity of 93 to second base. It's pretty good.
You gonna throw that out there with everything now?
I had to.
Well, here's where those infielders need to keep the ball in the infield for sure. You got to dive on it, keep it from getting to the outfield.
Fly ball left center field. Odubel is into the alley, and he'll make the catch. Lindor goes back to second. And there are 2 outs here in the 8th inning. And Carlos Santana is coming up. Larry Bowa just moved Ryan Howard over even more on the shift. Bob McClure's at the top step. He's going to come out. So Bob wants to chat with Elvis Araujo and a runner at second base. Santana, who is one of the better hitters for the Indians, power hitters for the Indians. Nursing a 1-run lead, you're trying to sort of manage and coach somebody like Araujo through this inning as best you can. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1, 2, 3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. So the meeting is over.
What do you think? Just want to go out and make sure that Araujo knows the shift's on and try to pitch accordingly?
I think that's part of it. They might even want to refresh the game plan on how to pitch to Santana too. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Delivering at 94 miles an hour. Way outside. Overthrew that one just a little bit.
Yeah, there's a pretty good chance of meeting it. I mean, this is the first time Santa's hit right-handed. Probably just refreshing the memory, saying what's his power strength, where he likes to face left-handers, you know, where his power swing is.
Took a big rip there. And it's now even 2 balls and 2 strikes. Santana's high water mark is 27 home runs. He's done that twice. Two balls and 2 strikes with a tying run at second. In the dirt, smothered by Rupp, it's 3-2. You wonder if he loses Santana here if they bring Murray in to face Juan Uribe.
Just another big pitch in the game right here. He challenged the hitter with the tying run on second base. He's the winning run, but he used first base being open.
Well, first base is no longer open, and that'll put runners on first and second. Uribe's looking over into the dugout. Pete Buchanan's heading toward the stairs, and this is going to wind up being a double switch. So Colton Murray is going to come on. Andres Blanco is going to come in, and we've got a pitching change for the Phillies with 2 outs and runners on first and second. Freddie Galvis will exit. Phillies lead it by 1 with a tying run in scoring position. LA Sunday, May 15th, when the Phillies take on the Cincinnati Reds. A bat and ball set free to fans 14 and under. And Nemours kids run the bases following the game. It's all part of the Reds weekend series. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. There is the bat and ball set. It's a great giveaway. Keep yourself busy for the summer. You might have to get a couple extra baseballs, though, wiffle balls, because they break pretty quickly. So here is Colton Murray back up for the minor leagues. He pitched for the Phillies last year. Murray's got a good breaking pitch. Those are his numbers at Lehigh Valley in 6 games. So he's going to face Juan Uribe. Be careful here. A couple of things that you can assume is that either Hector Neris or Genmar Gomez or both are not available tonight. Now Hector could be available to pitch the 9th, but they did make a double switch. Andres Blanco is in at shortstop. And a breaking ball, and it's 0-1.
Which would indicate they might plan on him closing the game.
They could. Colton Murray could be in there for the last 4 outs, or the hope to get last 4 outs. No balls and 1 strike. Runners lead off first and second.
Oh,
I believe Cameron Rupp was just crossed up.
yeah, I think he called a curveball and he just took a 95-mile-an-hour heater off the chest. I actually think this is a strike.
That is a strike.
It's right down the middle.
Off the wrist.
That is a strike.
Used to say right in the corner.
Wow. Didn't hit him in the chest, it hit him in the wrist.
Right in the wrist.
Catchers are amazingly tough, aren't they?
Especially that kid.
Woo.
Him and Chooch, unbelievable.
Oh, they have squirted a pass ball. It'll probably be switched to wild pitch once they learn of the cross up.
Really?
I would think, yeah. I mean, I don't know that. One ball and 1 strike. A high fly ball to left center field. That's well hit. Odubel's going back toward the wall. He has room. He makes the catch. And the inning is over. The park held it. Juan Uribe put a spark in it, but it just didn't have enough to get out. Odubel Herrera was able to make the grab. That was a breaking ball that was left up a little bit. Uribe wasn't sure, but Odubel Herrera made sure he showed him that that's the final out here in the 8th inning. defensive play of the game.
Watch this, Cesar Hernandez. Look how far he has to go. He's running full speed. Did not even have to lay out. Ball's going to be fair. Ball's going to be fair. Man on first base. Boom, right in the web. Yes, good concentration, great speed. You always want to have some speed at second base.
Brought to you by
and that's the
Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Defensive play of the game. I was just doing it like Matt does it, man. Easing into it.
So in other words,
you thought I forgot,
so
right?
in other words, it's the Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
No, I actually, the iPad was off to my left, and all of a sudden it dawned on me that you didn't see it. So here's Dan Otero as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and he delivers a strike to Howard. All right, so the closer situation has been solved for the Phils. The guy that David Hernandez last night told Murph was nicknamed Gumby because of his rubber arm is warming up, and that's Genmar Gomez. Lindor will take care of Howard. One away. There he is. So the putout goes 6-3. We're always trying to think along with the manager about like why a couple switches are made or moves are made. That's why we thought maybe Murray was going to pitch the 9th.
And somebody might ask him that at the end of the game or press conference.
Pete will answer any question. In fact, I remember talking to him at the beginning of the year. He goes, you know, if there's anything that comes up that you're not sure about, and this was all tongue in cheek. He goes, don't rip me apart on the air. Well, Stairs can, but you don't rip me apart on the air. Ask me after the game, and I'll give you an answer.
Well, I think I know the reason why they did a double switch is that they're short in the bullpen tonight.
Yep, that could be.
You know,
yep.
And then you just don't want to go through 2 guys. If rubber arm, or what do you call him? Gumby can't close the game out.
One ball, 1 strike to Rupp.
I'm not following that. Say that again.
I'll send you a text.
If they were planning on Genmar closing the game, why did they go in? Why did they double switch?
Because if for some reason it does go into extra innings and the bullpen is short of arms tonight. So you got Murray's down, you got Gumby who's going to be coming in, rubber arm. You know, you never know, but Hernandez threw 25 pitches last night. Hector Neris might be shut down today. Oberholtzel hasn't pitched in 3 days. So maybe they're just a little afraid of the strength in the bullpen. Or I should say the availability.
3-2 to Cameron Rupp. We're guessing, but it's a pretty good guess.
Thank you.
Two outs. And here comes Darren Ruff. Phillies had Otero in the offseason for a couple days. They picked him up. They wanted to keep him, but then they made another move where they needed the roster spot. So they put him on waivers, and he was claimed by the Indians. He had a couple of years ago, he had a really good year for the A's. There's a chopper up to third. Uribe will throw out Ruff. The side is retired. So we have completed 8 innings here at Citizens Bank Park. We're going to head to the 9th. Genmar Gomez is going to come on to try to close this baby out with the Phillies on top 4-3. Dollar Dog Night here at Citizens Bank Park. It's the first of 3 against the Miami Marlins. The final game is the Citizens Bank Business Person Special, and it's Weather Education Day, presented by NBC 10 here at the ballpark. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. All right, one of the refreshing surprises for the Phils, as you look at Tyler Goeddel in left field as part of a double switch. One of the refreshing surprises for the Phillies is the guy out on the mound right now, and that's Jenmar Gomez, who has 7 saves in 7 opportunities. And he's going to try to close this game out. Phillies are on top by 1. Gomez is tied for 6th, who finished last year tied for 6th in innings pitched in the National League. This year, his role was supposed to be as a 6th or 7th or even 8th inning guy, and then all of a sudden he became the closer. And the reason he became the closer is because he throws strikes. We'll get you the lineup and how things are set up in just a moment, but the way it's going to look is that Gomez is going to bat in the 6th hole, and Tyler Goeddel is going to bat in the 2nd hole. Here is Naquin to start the 9th inning, and he fouls the first pitch off, and it's 0-1. At least that's what we're thinking the switch is, but we're just trying to make sure. Is that what it is?
It is.
This guy who's been a workhorse.
I'm puzzled here, guys. And so where's Blanco hitting?
Blanco is hitting in the 8th spot, the pitcher spot, the former pitcher spot. Are you done keeping score?
Oh, I quit. I stopped in the 6th with the Indians and in the 7th with the Phillies. It's so wound up in what's going on out here. I forget that I'm keeping score. Plus, my boxes are too small.
We're gonna get you your own score sheet. We're gonna get you an official Mike Schmidt score sheet. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball right side. Cesar Hernandez is up with it and 1 away. Phillies postgame live is coming up after the game. Tommy Green is standing by. He's going to break this baby down. We'll hear from Pete Mackanin and also one of the players on Pure Auto Insurance presents Phillies postgame live. Here's Jose Ramirez. Bob Carpenter from the Washington Nationals has his own scorebook that he markets and sells. We're going to get we're going to get the Mike Schmidt scorecard
that I keep, or that maybe a different version of the scorebook that I invent.
That's exactly it.
Really?
Yeah.
I better get to work on that.
Ramirez, a .293 hitter with a home run, and the 0-1 pitch from Gomez outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Phillies are trying to win their 5th consecutive game and their 8th in their last 9 ball games. They got to keep winning because the Mets keep winning and the Nationals have won the last 2. They got to keep pace.
Jenmar is a different kind of closer. You know, not necessarily a blow you away kind of guy, strikeout pitcher. He is just amazing.
Well, he began his professional career with these guys in their farm system and was a starting pitcher.
And he was not necessarily ticketed for the closer's role, right,
No.
in spring training.
I think if Pete had his druthers in spring training by the middle of the spring, inside 3-2, Dalier Hinojosa would have been the closer.
Absolutely.
Really?
But then he fizzled. Well, I shouldn't say fizzled. Then he struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, he fizzled.
He's fizzled.
Because of the strikeout,
He liked
hard
his
throwing, nasty.
Yep.
Yeah.
His last couple of outings in spring training, velocity was down, didn't have the control.
And you know what? I thought Andrew Bailey was
I think at the
ticketed for
beginning
that
of the
role.
spring that may have been it. It sort of changed each week. I think it was I think it was Hernandez. Then he got hurt. Then it was Bailey. Then he had a couple good outings. Then struggled. Then it was Dalier.
Honestly, I believe it was whoever wanted to take it and threw well towards the end was going to be the closer for the team.
Well, it was Gomez. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ramirez. Back toward the middle, and it's going to sneak into center field for a base hit. So Ramirez has a 1-out single, and Lonnie Chisenhall is coming up. Chisenhall is 2 for 3 tonight. He grounded out to Howard his last time up. Yan Gomes has come out in the on-deck circle to pinch hit for the Indians. The Indians have already used Marlon Byrd, and now Ramirez. They have Napoli, Davis, and Yan Gomes. Davis has a bat. He's standing in the dugout. We can see him from up here.
Hasn't it been sort of a normal routine to put Darren Ruff at first base for defensive reasons late in the game?
Yeah, it has. It has.
We took Darren Ruff out of the game. Did put Goodell in left field.
One ball and no strikes.
He has a concerned look on his face there.
Looks like he wants to give the throw over look.
Line drive, base hit it to center field. Odubel will get to it. Ramirez will hold up at second. And now the Indians have first and second with 1 man down. Chisenhall has 3 hits tonight. Now let's see what Terry Francona does. I think he's going to pull back Gomes. He does, and it's going to be Rajai Davis who is going to pinch hit. Davis played in last night's ball game. He started last night's game. And he picked up a base hit, an RBI, and a run scored. He's a tough guy to double up.
There's a couple nice at bats. Ground ball up the middle and line shot to left center. It's a tough pitcher. 1 out in the 9th inning. It's good hitting.
Especially that last base hit, that line drive over Blanco's head going into center field. Sinker baller, you really have to get down there and stay on that ball for a long,
big time
long time to keep that ball on the line. Because if you pull off just a hair, 4-6-3, game over.
Davis taps it foul, and it's 0-1. Franco was over toward the line a little bit. Now he pulls off sort of normal spot at third. They play Davis to pull with Ramirez at second and Chisenhall at first.
I would love to see Ryan Howard just come in a little bit closer to the first baseman or the guy at first base, just to keep him honest. So if any ground balls hit, he doesn't get that great jump to break up a double play.
Excellent point.
Nice play.
Great play right there. It's a game saver right there by Cameron Ruff. You know, a guy can get those 2 guys mixed up, right?
Yeah.
That's a very good play right there.
That is a heck of a play.
Quick feet, good hands.
I mean, if that thing gets by, the whole inning changes. Yeah, that's a good point about Ryan Howard holding the runner on, because that runner can go all the way down to where Ryan Howard is. I mean, you can be standing up on second base by the time the throw gets there.
Over towards shortstop. They'll get at least
see that
one.
right now. Watch. There he is. Good play by Cesar, not taking a chance on throwing off balance to first base right there.
So 2 away and a tough out in Jason Kipnis.
That left-hander in the bullpen.
Sinker hits it off the end of the bat. Freddie does does a nice job realizing they're not going to be able to turn 2. I'm going to give Hernandez a strong feed. And Caesar realizing Davis can run like the wind, like Mike made the point. Smartly not trying to force that throw over there.
There's
right, your point. Excuse me, but your point was supported right there. The runner was definitely in position to take out Cesar. You know, but there again with the new rule, you got to be careful.
Yeah, you do.
Exactly.
You can end the game on a slide.
Kipnis takes outside. It's 1-0. Kipnis tonight has 2 RBIs. He has a sac fly and he has an RBI single. Overall hitting .277. He's hit in 9 straight games. The Indians have the tying run at third. Here in the top of the 9th inning in a 4-3 ball game. That's a strike on the inner half. It's 1-1.
That's a great pitch right there.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see if Davis takes off running, as we take a look at this pitch in the overhead camera right on the corner, if they throw through to second base, or they're going to just allow him to steal second base.
Well, yeah, I think if he's going to do that, he'll probably wait till 2 strikes.
Outside again, 2-1. Same spot as the first pitch.
But you know, you got your leadoff hitter hitting. He's got a couple line drives in the game already tonight. Left-handed against right-handed pitcher. Last thing you want to do, right, is get hung up in a first and third double steal and have the game end on it.
Right.
Gomez is set and a throw over to first base.
Been a lot of things to talk about in this game, hasn't there?
Cool. That one inning where the Phillies ran the bases all over the place. You could spend an hour on that. 2 balls and 1 strike to Kipnis. Another throw over.
Davis wants to run awful bad.
You know,
he's got a big lead.
He's also coming off the bench. And by that I mean, it's a little different if you play the whole game. Your legs are loose. You're feeling good. Might be a little stiff if I was.
He goes. 2-1 pitches. Hit foul.
Yeah, that's a big help.
Actually,
that's a real big help.
It's a foul tip.
He's out of the baseline.
Yeah,
he must have caught that in the air. Huh?
Yeah, it's a foul tip, so that's why he's able to go to second. I thought Cam reached down and picked it up. Yeah, so this is a foul tip, so it's basically a live ball, and that's why Rajai Davis is able to go to second base. He was 5 feet off the bag and had to go back when he realized it. I thought Cam had reached down and picked up the foul ball.
Wow.
So now the go-ahead runs at second. The tying runs at third. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kipnis. And the pitch in the air to right field. Borges going back on it. Reaches in and he makes the catch.
When you're going good.
When you're going good, you're going good. And the Phillies have now won 5 consecutive games and 8 of 9. That'll make your heart move a little quicker. But in the end, it'll calm down and the Phils will walk away with a 4-3 victory. And the Indians have to feel like they're snake bit. That is 5 consecutive 1-run losses for the Cleveland Indians.
Peter Borges.
Well, and this ball is absolutely crushed to right field, but Borges gets a nice job. Just turned around to start with, but with the speed and being a great defender, makes a very nice play. Oh, and by the way, at a new position starting in 2016.
Raise your hands up, Janmar. That's your 8th save and 8 opportunities. Man.
Yeah, and he kind of squeaked through that one. What do you call it, smoke and mirrors or something like that?
Yeah.
4-3 the final score. Freddie Galvis is one of the heroes tonight. He's downstairs with Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, yeah, you know, 3 RBIs for this guy, a couple early, 1 late, that it ended up being the game winner. It looked like your approach, all of your approaches against Bauer early was to be aggressive. Is that right?
Yeah, I just try to pick a good pitch to hit and try to put a good swing. I don't try to be too much aggressive, you know, with my swing, but you know, I can put the ball on play today and knock those runs.
You know, I watched you last night in the 10th inning, and you came up in the 10th inning, and you weren't, you know, you struck out in that at bat, and I saw how frustrated you were. But the game of baseball, you come back the next day and you get another chance to help your team win. That's exactly what you did.
Yeah, that's the baseball game, you know. It's going to give you the opportunity to do it again. And today, you know, like I say, I pick a good pitch to hit, and I put the ball on play.
5 in a row, 8 of the last 9, 14 of the last 20. What can you put your finger on? It's a little bit of everything for this team right now?
Yeah, I think we're playing good baseball. I think the bullpen and the starting pitcher, they do a pretty good job. We have to do like 3-4 runs to win some games, you know. I think we play good defense too, and that's why we're winning games.
All right, keep it up, Freddie. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you. There's our W.B. Mason deliveries of the game tonight. Back in the first inning, Freddie Galvis, his home run. That got the Phils on the board. They took a 2-0 lead. And then in the 7th inning, Freddie again. This one you can't even place any better than Freddie Galvis. It brings home David Lowe, and the Phils took a 4-3 lead, and they wind up winning it. Those are W.B. Mason deliveries of the game. Well, here's the final out again. Peter Borges reaches up at the last moment. Take a look at the reaction from the dugout. Yeah, that's the kind of out it was. I think everybody in the ballpark reacted that way.
I would agree with you. It didn't look good when it left the bat, and that's for sure one of the reasons Peter's in right field.